Hello traders, Peconsington from iHub here, and today I want to talk to you about the stock chart for FOYJ, foyj-johnston Incorporated, which is an OTC markets traded stock. So the first thing I want to point out here is the RSI. You'll notice that I have both the 5-period RSI and the 14-period RSI. The 5-period RSI is just a little bit more volatile, and usually when it crosses over the 14-period RSI, that's generally a good buy time. And you can see right now the 5-period RSI is at about 34.11. And the 14-period RSI is at about 40.71. So it's within, 6, give or take, points of crossing over. And once a bigger price move happens, you'll see that the 5-period RSI is a lot more volatile, so it'll move quickly and cross over that 14-period RSI pretty quickly. So that's one thing to watch in terms of a buy signal for that. And the other thing is that sitting at 40.71, there's plenty of room to run up before it hits the overbought category, which is 70 to 90, and it's only about 9.3 points away from being in what's considered the buy zone, which is about 50 to 70, and that's another generally bullish time to buy a stock is when the RSI is just above 50 and up until it hits 70. So RSI looking like there's plenty of room to come up. It's looking pretty bullish here in the near term. So the next thing I want to point out here would just be some quick support and resistance lines. So at 0004, you'll notice it's been a pretty key support resistance line in the history of this stock, and we're currently sitting on it as a support. So generally, it's a good idea to place a bid at a support level, and if you get filled here, it's going to be probably what I would consider a perfect buy for this next leg up that I'm expecting to happen pretty soon. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that this has been a really important level, this point 0004 level. In terms of resistance, we can see that we have one at about 001 here. It's been pretty key in terms of resistance and even support here. So if we get back up to that, that'll be key. It'll be over 100% gain, so that's really cool. And that's a level to watch to see if we can break through it. And if we do break through it, then the sky's the limit. This could go really up to above 0.002 and could be a huge gainer. If it struggles at that resistance level, just keep a close eye on it at about 001. So the next thing I want to point out here is that we're starting to see some increasing green volume here. We had this one big red candle here, but you'll notice that the stock actually did run really hard. So it traded in a range that's generally above the 0004 level, and so we probably saw a lot of accumulation of shares above that level, and people are probably going to hang on to those more expensive shares for either profit or to at least come out even. So we should be able to easily get up to this resistance level, would be my guess. Now the next thing I want to point out here quickly is the fact that the MACD is starting to look very bullish. You'll notice that this blue line here is starting to curl up. It's been flattening out and starting to curl up. It's about to cross over this white line here, and they're both starting to curl up, so that's really a bullish sign in terms of short-term momentum. Another thing I wanted to point out is that the accum dist line right here is actually starting to spike up really hard. So again, with the accumulation, we're seeing increased volume on green days. That's a strong sign of accumulation. So the next thing is also the CMF is agreeing. It's also starting to spike up itself. That's another accumulation indicator. So keep your eyes on these, because we can tell from looking at the chart that shares are being accumulated here, and that's a good thing for starting any run. The next thing I want to point out is that your Williams percent R is actually in the oversold category, and you can see back here. We'll draw a little circle here, but back when the Williams percent R has been oversold before, it's bounced up pretty hard. So over here, we notice some pretty solid green days. I mean, that's almost 100% gains there. The last times that the Williams percent R rebounded. So we have a similar situation happening here, and I'm hoping to see a similar move. And another thing I wanted to point out here quickly also is the ADX. The ADX and the PARSAR, which is this little indicator with the blue dots up here, and it's also down here, the orange support line is actually covering it. Let me hide that. So you can see the PARSAR dots here. They were actually developed by the same guy. to work together. So when the par star is underneath the price per share, that's generally a bullish sign, and as you could tell from looking at it, it is actually below the price per share, so that's a bullish sign. And the ADX is confirming that, because the ADX is a trend strength analyzer, and you can see that this blue line, which is the actual ADX line itself, is starting to spike up pretty hard, which means that we've got a trend that's growing in strength. And our plus DI line, which is this green line, is actually on top of both the minus DI and the ADX line, which is really bullish in itself also. So they're in complete agreement that we're starting a new trend and it's bullish. And finally, we've got the tricks indicator here. It's also about to cross over and diverge upwards, so we're looking bullish on that indicator as well. It's another short-term momentum indicator. So overall, I'd say this chart is starting to look like it's found its bottom at this support line right here at 0004. You've also got the 200 MA in the same area, which is this green line here. So anytime you have several moving averages or support lines in one area, that just kind of shows that it's even just like a stronger support. So we have a really strong support here at 0.0004. It's a great opportunity to buy in this area, in my opinion, and there should be a lot of upside. I'm expecting a leg here soon, a leg up. So I'm not an investment professional. This video should be watched only for entertainment purposes, because I cannot be responsible for your wins or losses. So good luck, and thanks for watching.